first point for those that are, I know they're probably recording me back then, for those that are writing, my first point to you quickly I want to bring to you is about the power of the resurrection. What will that do after we read Matthew 28:10? The power of the resurrection will cause you to, point number one, stop being afraid. The power of the resurrection will cause you to stop being afraid. It's interesting that the word afraid, it derives from where we get the word phobia. It comes from a Greek word of phobia, where we get the Greek word where we get the word phobia. So the root for fear, or the root word for being afraid, comes from where we get phobia. And we know what a phobia is. Somebody says he's phobic. You know, some individuals cannot be locked in the room. They say they're claustrophobic. They can't be in an elevator because if they're there for more than 2 minutes, they want to get out, or the elevator is still going up or down. And if you put them in the room, hopefully there are no windows because they want to get out. But a phobia, and when we look at something, it's interesting, and my first point is stop being afraid. Why did Jesus tell these words to the women to stop being afraid? Because we see that in the phobia, in the fear, there's a fear that they had. Many people say it was a reverential fear, that we're in reverence. But it was a fear of awe. It was a fear of shock. It was a fear, my God, it was a fear. They were scared because of the resurrected Christ. And that fear produces a paralysis. It can produce a paralysis that keeps individuals. And I don't know what your fear is today. I don't know what your fear is yesterday or was yesterday, or what your fear is, or what is your constant fear, or your continuous fear. I don't know what it is. But many individuals with a fear, it produces a paralysis that keeps you from accomplishing your God-given talent, that stops you from doing and what God has called you to do. It stops you from those talents and those gifts, those aspirations, those dreams, those things that you have placed before God. There always seems to be a fear, a paralysis for you not to do what you know God has called you to do. Many of you have a dream. Many of you have an aspiration. Many of you have said in yourself, this is a goal that I wish to accomplish. This is something I want to do. But all of a sudden, it's like a fear rises up. A fear that prevents you, and paralysis sets in. And instead of you doing that which God has called you to do, or reaching the goal which you know you can, you stop because fear has paralyzed you, and you stop wherever you were. And now when you stop doing that which you were called to do, a paralysis sets in, or complacency, or apathy, or you just say, I can't do it. I don't know who I'm speaking to today, but I'm here to let you know that Jesus told the woman, stop being afraid. And when you stop being afraid, there is something why he told them. Remember who it was that told them to stop being afraid. They came in expecting to find a corpse, and yet they found a live body. They were expecting to find the opposite, and because of it, fear struck them because of anticipation. Most of us have a fear anticipating something which has not occurred, and still we're looking way out anticipating something, and a paralysis sets in because we have fear. Something that has not yet happened, something that is out there, something anticipating, and we are scared. The women were anticipating to find a corpse, and they found a resurrected Christ. The women were anticipating to anoint the dead body, but the live body was speaking to them. And the fear will always stop you from reaching your destiny, stop you from reaching your purpose, stop you from reaching your goals, stop you from reaching your aspirations, stop you from reaching that which God has called you to do. Jesus says, do not be afraid. Why? Because when you are afraid, you are now saying that that which you receive does not exist. The person that gave you the word is no longer there. The word that was given is a lie, or that you are now doubting. I'm here to let you know that Jesus is alive, that he is alive, and he wants to use that which he placed in you. There is a word that he tells you today. Don't fear. I am with you always until the end of the age. Don't be afraid. No, do what you aspiration, that goal, especially in the children of God, was not placed there because of an inhibition. It was not placed there because you could not sleep. It was not placed there because you didn't have anything else to do. God will set it in your heart. And that which you purpose in your heart to do, and you turn it over to Him, He tells you today, do not be afraid and go. That's point number one.